out to Tony Ranks though, who like
Tony Ranks just mashed up.
He wasn't even supposed to be in it.
No, he was just there, and he came in and did a verse, and
He
shut it
down.
pretty much shut it down. Like
Yeah,
after
he did.
he went up, was like, how do I follow that energy?
However,
Who did follow it?
LIP did his thing, and he also threatened to kidnap us. So
Threatened to
Cheza
kidnap
would. So Cheza would
book him
book
on
us
the
book
show.
him on the show.
But no, he's starting to kidnap Mo because he
Who did?
LIP.
the guy who was threatening to kidnap us. And we're
LIP
like,
I will
is
let
dope.
people know.
Shout out to LIP.
I do not negotiate with terrorists.
I knew he was gonna say that.
So kidnap who you want. They are not coming home.
Governor was in the cipher.
Yeah.
Who else was in there?
Casper.
Yeah.
Who else was there? Dustin. Or no,
Dustin-
Dustin was in the
Dustin was
competition.
performed though.
That's what I'm
But
talking
Shout out to
Specs
Dustin.
Specs one was in the cipher.
Yeah.
Who else was there?
There was a lot. There was a
There
lot.
There's a lot. There's like 12 guys that were in the cipher. Dope. Not all of them went back up to see who the crowd wanted, whatever. Because they pretty much knew
They knew.
They knew who it was.
Yeah.
They knew. Tony Ranks just like
Tony
shut
Ranks.
down. Yeah.
Was there actually like, did he win something for it?
No.
Yeah, he did.
The cipher?
Yeah.
He wasn't even a part of it.
They got-
No, he did win a,
He
he
got
did.
a
He
shirt.
won Connect the Dot Gear. He
No,
won
I think he took it.
No,
he took the
he
team.
won. They even posted it on their Facebook
did they?
page.
Okay.
Connect the Dot Gear, a tattoo voucher, whatever, and something else.
Not for Matchbox Tattoo, which it probably should have been. So
Where's Match?
we'll make sure that happens in the future. 707 Dundas Street West.
Your first container tattoo shop.
That's correct.
Very first. You need to market that more.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Trailblazer.
We are. Blazing trails.
So since you weren't at the show, what did you do?
Family stuff.
Oh, that's fun.
I figured he was doing that. He would. Did you guys notice he was quiet this week? Like usually moderators got some.
Except he
noise,
did
got
make
some-
one post, but not wanting to talk about himself.
Oh yeah. What's that about? I thought that was him.
I don't talk about
I know, that's what I said.
I thought that was an Emo thing.
I don't remember that.
I'm like, we had a segment
You always
where
have to
Emo
remember,
talks about himself. He
when
just
you
kind of
point
gets
a
silent.
finger, you point 3 back at yourself.
Oh.
Oh.
Give
Okay.
Give him a bit of that sasson.
So how was your day though?
Monday was fine.
What day are we talking about?
Monday.
was fine.
What'd you do?
Monday?
Yeah, it was Monday.
What'd you do?
Monday was a work day, so I worked.
How do you feel?
I went home.
How did that make you feel?
Hung out with the kids.
And after that,
It was Tuesday.
once the kids went to sleep,
And after they go to bed and you sit down, you have time yourself to think.
how
It's
did you
going
feel?
through
I
that
don't
dread
really
of
think.
yours.
I make like, I make like.
You can see the discomfort.
He doesn't talk about himself.
He's like, well, like, why are you playing with your finger?
I'm trying to count now. Like,
That's his,
wow.
that's his tell. That's his tell. I don't know what to do with my hands.
4 questions later, the 2 comes off.
Head scratching.
Twisting.
Guys, can we talk about something else, please?
Okay, we can talk about whatever you want.
It was a dope week, so
Maybe we'll have a
dope,
psychologist on sometime.
To discuss your guys' problem.
I have a couch for it.
This is like, Emo, Cheza, why don't you guys like to talk about yourself?
Okay, so
I'm not
last-
conceited. I'm a selfless person, so I talk about myself. Let's talk about others. That's my story.
deflection.
I stick to it.
You can't stick to deflection. It's actually impossible.
Deflection is actually the opposite of sticking.
Deflection, I stick
So
to it.
so last week, I think it was last week or the week before, topic of the Grammys came up. Nobody
Yeah,
really
sure,
said
we're
it,
looking through
but
it.
like honestly, this morning when I saw that it was like tonight, I kind of got a little bit
You kind of were gonna skip.
anxious. No, that's
Anxious for
So
what?
you can watch the Grammys.
Are we
no,
nominated?
because
Didn't know about it?
not yet. I'm coming soon. But I think it was I was watching Ebro in the morning.
Okay.
Ebro was talking about how there's the diversity in hip hop that's nominated,
Right.
like Jay, Kendrick, I think Rhapsody is them.
Yeah.
I should have looked it up, but like,
Yeah, I have it here.
all of them have sonically different albums,
Right.
and you've never really seen
And
it.
for best
And that-
album?
for rap
Okay.
album. So that had me like, yo, we haven't really seen a diverse category as far
Right.
as the rap category goes. So for them to point that out, I was like, that's interesting. So now I want to see who's gonna get it. I'm interested.
Did you look
I'm
at the
not.
list for the record?
No, they when they were listing it off, I was thinking about it, but I didn't take a note as well.
Well, let's talk about it. We can talk and maybe make our
And we can make
projections.
mention actually who didn't enter themselves purposely. Because they would have just wrapped it up.
So Drake didn't enter himself?
He didn't enter his album at all on purpose.
Then why did we gotta?
Huh?
Why?
He didn't care anymore, I guess.
How many Grammys does he have?
A lot.
Well,
He does.
but still, I mean, it's LeBron's not gonna be like, well, no, I don't.
I can't get a
I
ring.
think that's different. I think that's different.
You know,
Yeah, that's what that's.
he's eligible and he just didn't say, I'm not entering.
Well, maybe it's a thing of holding out because he did present his album as a playlist.
Right.
We might see a playlist
And-
category in a year or two.
And he's obviously starting to release new music,
Yeah.
so maybe he's waiting.
Sometimes it's a thing of make them miss you.
Yeah. So maybe he's waiting for 2018 to be like,
Plus him
drop,
not
drop a
putting-
big actual album.
Not
Yeah,
submitting his music
Excited about the new
makes him the
record?
story of Grammys as well.
And his
He didn't do it, so no matter who wins, it's always gonna be Drake but Drake and put his music in. Did you
So,
really?
so did you really win?
and
So-
the new joint he put out is a 2-track EP. So he's doing things that are
Different.
it's different. So maybe it's a thing of them catching up with him.
I think,
It could
I
be.
think, I think he's just done with the words. Like, when's the last time you actually seen him?
That's true. Yeah.
Right? I think he's just done with the worships.
I think he's on the thing like the Jay thing. Like if Jay and Beyonce don't go, he won't go.
And that's pretty much.
That's
Are they
his
going
status
this year,
here,
though?
No.
But Jay's nominated.
I think so. I think they're gonna be there. Jay and
It
he's
Beyonce.
might be a
nominated
thing.
for
They show up and stuff like this.
It might be a
Truly-
thing of. It might be a thing of. If Jay's there, I'll be there. He's not there.
Right.
There's only so much star power that can.
But he loves Beyonce. So I
Speculations.
can
They,
see him like.
they
like,
can
just
all,
to
they
see
also
go there and
don't,
say
they also
Beyonce.
do not like each other. So maybe that is his.
But he loves Beyonce.
No.
Yeah, Drake
no,
loves
not even
Beyonce.
close.
We know it.
Yeah.
I thought it was started.
Not a little bit. No, not a little bit.
It was sitting there and I was like, oh, okay, it's at the right number.
Yeah, no.
Goodness gracious.
You're surprising me this week, moderator.
But maybe.
You-
Okay, let's go back to the
No,
categories.
hold on. I gotta find out what happened this week. Something has. He's very eager to get to the drink this week. This is
I
I
different.
wasn't even eager. I thought it was at 10 minutes.
He's an eager chicken.
Okay.
He's eating
Let me
chicken.
tell the story.
You're eating
Moderator-
chicken?
Hold on. Usually, moderator is the one to hit me up about Casual Fan. YouTube.com/Welcome to the Shot Club Podcast. I'm usually the one that falls asleep and he calls me and says, "Yo, we're doing the show," and I'm like, "All right, cool." I hit him up this time and I didn't hear from him at all. He's the guy that doesn't sleep.
I tell you so much, like at 12:40, I'm like, yo, we gotta do a fucking Casual Fan. I'm like, let me go hit up Trace. Let me look at the time. I said 12:40. What was I doing for 2 hours? Like I was all over the place so much.
What happened?
Like,
You guys didn't do it?
no,
we didn't do the
I
show.
forgot all about it.
Because I'm
Until
usually-
later, and I was like, okay, it's probably close to time to do it. And I look at my time. It's 12:40. I was like,
Because
shit.
he'll hit me up and I'll be because
And
I'm
where were you at?
I was in bed.
It's one of those things like.
I'm
you know,
like
yeah.
like I was gonna say like I'm in bed at 8,
Why?
so I'll take a nap because I'm old. I'm old.
People named Jason
I'm-
going to bed at 8.
I'm old.
Is
Shout
there
out
more
to
than
Jay.
one Jason going to bed at 8?
Yeah, all 3 Jasons that I know that I'm good friends with do the same thing.
Old man thing.
Yeah.
I'm old. I'm in bed by 8, right? So if he hits me up and says, "Yo, let's do the show," I know it's not gonna be till about 10:30, 11:30. So I'll get a little nap in, wake up, and I'm refreshed.
Can we stay on topic?
We're on topic.
We're on topic. We're on moderator.
Are we gonna talk about the?
No,
No. Let's wait for our
guest.
guest. Let's wait for our guest to come in and discuss this because our guest,
Fine, forget
our
it.
guest should
Just
should
be willy nilly with topics tonight.
No, it's not being willy nilly. I'm saying let's push that topic to the side and wait for our guest to
You
come in.
got all
because
formal with it.
What is with this?
We're just switching things up.
Okay, no, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead.
Emma wants to talk
Don't
about
wanna-
the.
Don't want to hurt his
You're right.
feelings.
When you're right, you're right.
What else is happening in music? You guys don't feel me
You
in.
want to look at the screen and it's not there.
It's,
When you're right, you're right.
What's going on in music
then?
then?
I don't really remember anything that happened this week. Like usually when it comes to news, there's always a good 2-3 new things every week
Oh yes,
that happens
yes.
that you
yes.
can bring up.
What happened?
Not in music though. Patrick Brown.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Who?
So explain Patrick Brown.
What's that?
PC leader.
Okay, explain.
So, PC, that
Can I demo?
he can't hear.
I can't hear. Oh,
Go ahead, Mark.
No, he can't hear because he has headphones.
Oh.
We can't hear because of the music, but he can't hear because of the headphones.
Okay.
But you guys really loud, so I put the
Here.
headphones on.
Okay.
No one can hear.
Okay. Patrick Brown.
He's leader of the Conservative Party. There's an election coming up in June, I believe.
Yeah, it's like 6 months away.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, comes out another sexual assault allegations. But I mean, it has gotten so ridiculous that this guy, 10 years ago, was in a bar, met a girl. She was only 18. He didn't know, he was in a bar.
Right.
Two girls.
There's two. This one was 10 years ago. Brought her home. Whipped it out.
Yeah.
A lot of people's go-to move. She did what she did with it for a bit, and it was like, you know what? That's it. I'm gonna leave.
Right.
She left.
Okay.
No problem. This is her story.
This is her story.
This is her story. Yeah. This
Okay.
is not like him being like, yeah. She said, yeah, and I said, okay, bye. Like she said, yeah. I wanted to go. I left. You let me leave. No problem.
Right.
Is that a story?
No, that's actually really not. Sorry.
Second allegation was he doesn't drink. He was at a bar again.
Sorry, what was he accused of in that story?
It's just inappropriate behavior. But I mean, it goes.
So it's the whipping out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
But
things,
basically,
what they
I mean, the
say,
whole point is that, like, that's it now. That ruins your career.
Yeah.
Inappropriate behavior that happened 10 years ago with a girl that you obviously assume is of age. Cause,
Okay, so she's 18.
yeah.
So she's not of age? 18?
So the biggest thing in there is that she's 18.
So that's not legal
That's
age?
of age.
That's a, first of all, people, if you don't know the law, look it up. 18 is a legal consenting age for an adult.
Second allegation was, again, they're in a bar. He doesn't drink, so he was there chilling, but he goes out, has a good time, like his boys drink, and it's just not clicking, so just pour that shit out.
No, I didn't hear it.
Yeah, I know.
Hey!
Okay, let's do it on 3. It doesn't feel right.
3, 2,
2, 1.
1.
Hey!
That's time again.
You
even
know
though you
what
didn't hear it.
I know you didn't hear it.
So yeah, so they're out. She goes back to his house.
Right.
Is in his bedroom.
Second girl?
Second girl.
Okay.
Is in his bedroom.
Okay.
She's of age this time. I
What,
think
so
she's 19.
she's 19 now.
19 this
Okay.
time. Different girl, obviously.
Okay, yeah.
He starts making out with her.
Okay.
She
What's it out?
says I wasn't reciprocating. She's like, I tried not to move my mouth.
Okay.
So he makes out with her for a few minutes. She eventually says, listen, like, I'm not down. Can you take me home? And he takes her home. These are the allegations. He had to resign as the leader of the Conservative Party because of this.
Well,
She's gotten to a point-
sensitive society.
And I was listening to Desmond Cole on CBC today, who just loves to stir shit. And he's on, like, basically on the girl. Not that there should be like a girl side, but he's putting blame onto him. And I'm like, this is crazy now.
It's crazy.
That's a bad date.
If
How
he's-
we've all been in both those exact situations.
Yeah. Well, I don't whip it out. It's not my go-to.
No, that's not my go-to.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying. Like, we've all been in where there's maybe some miscommunication. You misread a signal.
And she's like, know what? I don't want. You know what? I'm not vibing anymore. I'm out.
Vibe changes and they're
Like,
not down.
honestly, if you think about it, isn't that how first kisses happen? You look,
There's a
there's
vibe,
a vibe, you're like, maybe let me try, and then
And
you
then-
try and you kiss.
and if you don't, you.
It could be she goes, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, my bad, I thought we were there.
Sounds-
Or she kisses you back.
Right.
Sounds like he's.
So,
he's,
can you not first kiss anymore? Do I have to ask you, like,
Can I kiss you?
Yeah.
It's new.
I'm gonna try to ask a question, but I'm looking at you, and I'm like,
Right,
I can't
no,
ask
no,
the
no.
question.
So, no, like, because there's a situation where I was mid-stroke and I'm like, I'm bored now. Like, this girl's boring. I'm mid-stroke and I just left. What is that? Is that assault? Like, what is that?
No.
Like, no, but I don't understand. Like,
Maybe that's assault on you.
that's
Maybe you're
humiliation,
right there, and you're like, you know what?
Yeah, that's a-
I don't like this. She made me do this.
right? Like, can I charge her for, boring sexual actions? Like,
It's just
we're
gotten
definitely
to a
in a
point
new.
where it's,
Yeah, we're in a new. Like everything right now.
Hold on, sorry. Take the shot.
oh, sorry, to sensitive people.
You guys are just talking.
To numbing the sensation.
To numbing the sensation.
Numbing the sensitivity.
To numbing the sensation.
It's not really what
That's a crazy allegation, but who pushed this story?
Aha.
Who pushed this story? Because
Apparently, there's been rumors of this floating about for some time.
I've seen girls actually say, yeah, it's true. He is that type of guy.
What type of guy?
One girl
Hits on
said
girls?
she went to go. No, hold on.
Like,
She went to a party, one of his, and she was drunk, whatever. And she jumped and swam in his pool, but she smashed her nose, broke her nose, and he was like, "Get this girl out of here. She's not drunk enough."
oh, he said that?
Yeah, that's what she said. He
Earlier
said,
you were
"You're
like,
not
who's
drunk
Patrick Brown? Now you know stories.
enough." No, because when you said it, I saw the
he's-
story.
okay, yeah.
he's always like, explain for everybody. That guy. He's that guy.
What's the
No, in the car.
This is in
He
the
said
car.
they still didn't have no clue. When you guys wrote it in the chat, I was like, Patrick
You know,
Brown.
and it's kind of a sidetrack. Every time I saw Patrick Brown, probably like maybe 3 years ago, I was like, when did Steve Nash start going in politics? He kind of looks like Steve Nash a little bit.
Well, sorry.
But no,
That kind of sucks.
it says something when a guy responds to a negative reaction and says, "All right, well, I'll take you home or whatever," and then he gets charged later. Like, that's
What
scary.
else could he have done?
That's scary because I've been in situations where it's like, oh, this is not happening. All right,
Listen,
cool.
sometimes
And you're out.
sometimes legally, when you show the willingness to help a person that can possibly claim that you've done them something, right? That's showing guilt.
How?
It's legally is showing guilt.
If I
accept-
take a step,
I-
you
I-
say don't
you're
take a
willing
step,
to-
and I say okay.
I can see where circumstances
Like, if-
where that
if-
would apply. But
If you like,
not
okay,
here.
say, if you were say at my house and I warned you, don't take a step down the stairs, right? Down this step, like skip that step. You didn't listen to me, right? And you fell, right? My willingness to possibly help you outside of calling ambulance, right, shows my guilt.
Yeah, you know what? I have
Yeah.
heard.
So
this before.
sometimes the best result is just be like me and be an asshole. You fell.
or
You know what?
you can be
You know what?
hater day.
It's not being a hater. Just when you know your rights and able to protect yourself, people see it as that way. But when I say don't take a step, don't step on that step, and you do it, you fall. I'm like, whatever. Call the ambulance. You sit your ass right there and call it a day.
He should have called her an ambulance.
Yeah. If she wants to go home, call her a cab.
Yeah, it's costing $95.
Right? If she wants to go home, he should have called, like literally, call her a cab.
But there was it's just gotten crazy. There's another one, we'll just talk about it briefly, but I think he was in Calgary, he's in a wheelchair. I don't even know his name, he was in politics in some way. He called a girl on the elevator yummy. Had to resign.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
He's part of what's his name?
I didn't know
He's a part of
Wow.
Trudeau's.
Well,
Okay.
there goes my go-to word.
Yeah. Come
Guys.
on, you can't say I get it. Like,
Here's-
women deal with a lot of catcalling and it can't be good. But I mean, that's like,
Seeing
the man, his whole career is over now because
Yeah.
he said yummy.
Yeah.
See, one of the ones getting angry, the ugly ones, they ain't getting no cat.
Comments
I
like that.
we will be posting where you can find sensitive new training.
What's your
But-
Twitter again?
If
If you have a response to DJ Bylaw, you can message him at.
I ain't got Twitter.
like seeing this stuff happen, the thing that I thought was maybe we need to change the dynamic. Maybe it needs to be women going after men. Maybe now women need to be responsible for
Listen,
the
I
action
actually
towards
asked.
men.
I actually asked that question on a post on Facebook. Some girl posted. No, a guy posted about how since his daughter's been getting older and he's been hitting on his daughter, right? How he's realized how much of an asshole he was trying to pick up women, right? And he listed out all the phrases and terms that he would have used, right, to try and get a woman's attention, right? Now, some phrases, I'm thinking to myself, there's nothing bad about that, nothing bad at all. and I'm reading the responses, right, from all the women, and they're just saying thank you and bashing all guys for saying simple things like hi, how are you, right? And I'm like, okay, if I can't say hi, how are you? If I can't whistle, if I can't, just put my hand down and you grab my hand, right? It's like simple things like putting my hand down and you grab my hand as you walk by, right? If you don't want to grab my hand, then don't grab it, because I didn't reach for you. I did
But there's a lot of guys who will.
but I've been in a club where a girl's trying to walk past, and I do this, right, to give her space. I do this, and she'll grab my hand. Now, if you don't want to hold my hand, don't grab it, right? So I asked all the women. I tagged all the women in the chat. I go, if all these ways to approach you is unacceptable, tell me how. Didn't get a response back.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a response outside of that.
And I found that with a lot of women, it's not about.
Am all your friends here?
We're here having a serious conversation.
I don't
here.
care. He's bugging me upstairs, so I gave him a beer.
Ah! Come on in, home.
Congratulations, first kid.
Huh?
No bottle cap over there.
No bottle cap over there, bro?
What's wrong with mom? How you doing, man?
Yo, mom, there's one in my jacket. Hey!
You gonna take a shot?
Yep.
How you doing, sir? You good?
Yeah, man.
I'll go get a bottle.
Yo, Bylon, how you opening those beers?
With the other beer.
Lighter or something?
Here.
Thank
With the other beer.
What's good?
Gangster.
you. Yeah, man.
For those who don't know who this person is sitting
No
down in
doubt,
front
man.
of
I
us.
already came drunk still, so.
Psych.
You're not the first one. First one to do that.
Yeah, man.
For those who don't know who this is,
Sunday.
this big man in this burgundy bomber
Thank you, man.
with this Legends League hat.
Yeah.
Shout out Legends League.
Shout out.
Psych.
I get that.
No other than Mr. Rich Kid. Rich Kid Beats.
Give the resume a little something. Give the resume a little something.
He's the biggest. I would like to
Chaos.
say.
Socrates.
I would like to say.
Unreal.
One of the biggest producers in this
Maestro.
city. I would like to say one of the biggest shit talkers in this city too. He drops a lot of shit.
That's not
For
gonna
y'all who don't know, his lyrics crazy. If you don't know that, then I
Hey,
don't know.
man, it's not for me to know it's crazy. It's for me to just make it like I think it's sick, but it's for you guys. Then I know I
Like
did a
throwing
good
the
job.
alley-oop.
But I appreciate that. I like the intro. You prepared that? Like,
Off the top of this.
okay.
You know?
Yeah, then it's realer. Realer.
Welcome to the
Let's
shot club.
take a shot for the resume.
The resume.
Thank you. Resume.
We gotta double tap.
Oh,
Double
okay.
tap.
There we go.
I heard you guys talk about like rape and you come in and you're like, yeah, she's gotta be 18. I don't like girls when they're 18.
No, what is your take on? Do you know the whole Richard Brown situation?
Patrick Brown, nah, what is he, PC or
He's
is
the
he?
leader, or
Well,
was
he
he?
stepped down.
Or-
He stepped down.
He stepped down and what? He was touching girls and shit?
No, so apparently he had 2 bad dates.
Basically, that was it.
So he
Oh,
went to a
like
bar,
that, MCs
went to a
and
bar, came
Yeah,
back
that's
to
about to
his-
say.
like that.
That's
went to a bar, came back to his crib with this girl who's 18.
Okay.
Okay, the first one. He whips it out. She does what she does with it. Wasn't comfortable. After a little while, said she wanted to leave. She left. Okay. Second one, she's 19. Go back to his spot in his bedroom. They start kissing. She's not comfortable with the kissing. Asks to take her home. He takes her home. And now he's being charged with what? He's being touched, apparently.
Allegation.
Huh?
No, it's not even. He's
He
not.
just resigned.
Yeah, there's nothing criminal.
Was there pressure for him to resign?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because his was
Especially for
it?
something like that.
It's just inappropriate behavior. That's it. There's no criminal, nothing happening, but it's just as simple as that now.
It was.
That
It was.
his career is over.
As soon as those allegations came out, 4 major people in his party.
It might have been within, actually.
No,
I was
four people
throwing shade
within
at
his-
Win for doing this. It might have been within.
Yeah, 4 people within his team resigned
Resign.
immediately.
So what do you think about that?
Well, it seems like there's something deeper than just that. Maybe like,
Somebody-
That he would
it-
resign himself
yeah,
for.
yeah. There's more things that
No,
are
you
coming
got
about.
when
you
this
know?
shit pops off, you gotta. There's no choice now.
But maybe the people coming to him already know who he is. They're like, listen, before this and this and that come out, you need to resign. Because
Oh,
that's
yeah,
going to be
of
next.
course,
You
of
know
course.
what I mean?
That could be
Of
it.
course, a lot of times it is that. You know, they have even more information, but they don't want their company to look bad too. Because remember, if you have a man that, you know, does a scandal in your company, no matter what level of position you play, that affects your company and what's the bottom line, the dollar. So, you know, you don't want all the bad news to get out there. You want to try to cap it while it's
Yeah.
controlled,
Yeah.
while you
Like an oil
can't
spill.
control it while you can. Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, you
So,
know.
anyways,
But let's.
Anyways,
let's.
Evo had a question
we've
that
talked.
you know,
We've talked a lot
Yeah.
about that. And
from before. Yeah.
But let's talk about what's going on.
let's talk about
What's
some
going
music.
on?
Yeah.
Let's
First of all, let's going on with.
let's introduce our guest.
We already did that.
No, but I'm
He
saying.
said properly.
No, not.
He said
not,
properly.
That
You
was
said
proper.
your
That
you
was
said your
proper.
intro.
First
You
of
said
all,
yours was the
first of
version.
all, what's going on with you there, Mr. Rich Kid?
What's going on
What's
with me?
going
That's
on?
what
with
I
you?
meant to say. Ya basta. Ya basta.
Me, I'm just working, man. Working on new MBS music, which is Naturally Born Strangers. It's Legends League, me, Adam Bomb, and Tona collaboration.
Right.
Check it out, y'all. Thank you. Yeah, it's a new project that we're working on, trying to follow up on the last one that we did like 4 years ago.
Right.
Let me say this. Let me cut you.
Mm.
Because I saw you guys at Revival a couple of years ago. Big
For a
tickets.
Big ticket, yeah.
You know. Shout out to the next big ticket that's about to happen. Whenever that does happen.
It's coming. It's coming. I heard it's coming.
Shout out, man, like Chris Skyrocket.
Mans were on the bar. On the bar. Just performing. Just.
Oh, they did
And
some.
shout out to Blacka.
Bars on
Blacka
bars.
did,
They did
Blacka
some
did it too
Coyote-
on Friday.
Some Coyote Ugly shit at the bar.
Blacka the Don did
Pretty
it.
much.
There's been
Black
bars
is
on
on
bars.
The
it.
real ugly. Real
Black
ugly.
of the Dawn did it, but like when I saw you guys did it, like it was just this energy. Like, you're here, Tona's here,
Yeah.
Adam Bomb's here, and you guys are just it's. And we were talking about like how we perceived the space, right? At Revival, because it was like, yo,
Yeah,
it
How
seems
you
smaller
guys
than.
receive the space.
Anyways, but like when you see a performance like that, it definitely closes the space.
Right.
And you guys have a dynamic that's just crazy. What's the craziest thing when you guys step into the studio? What's the vibe like? Are you here? Is Adam Bomb here? Is Tona? Are you guys talking? Are you in separate spaces?
We're friends, you know. So we have just a joking vibe. We the type of guys. We have our own like IG chat, you know, group and shit like that. So
We have WhatsApp. But
yeah, WhatsApp. You know, every like if you dogs, you probably have a group chat and you probably just talk shit all day. So it's just like the group chat in real life, like
Yeah.
just talking shit all day about you see this shit like that, and then we get into. I just start playing beats. Like you just start hearing shit like yo, what y'all? What are you making right now? Boom, boom, boom. Just start writing shit, start coming up with ideas, and then boom, just lay it down. Most of the time, alcohol is involved. Jameson is what we started with, but we're not discriminatory against
we
anyone
had
alcohol.
Jameson
Actually,
when Adam-
David
Hold
doesn't
on.
drink Jameson because of the. Let him
Expound.
tell him the background.
Why you
Expound.
guys always gotta bring up shit?
Hold on. Can I say
What
this?
is it?
Can
What
I
is
say
it?
this real
Racial
quick?
history? Of
Yes.
Can I say this real quick?
Well, Irish?
Adam already said, he understands what I'm saying, but it tastes good, so he doesn't give a fuck.
Can I say this
Which,
first?
which I completely understand.
Can I say
Yeah,
this
like
first?
everything got a racial history to it.
No, but see, everything has
Like
racial
my
history.
shirt's made out of cotton.
No. Mine too.
You know what I mean? Like,
But listen, no. But everything has
fuck,
racial.
nigga, like, I gotta
Everything-
wear cotton. I know cotton's offensive. I gotta eat watermelon and chicken. It tastes good.
Everything has history. 100%.
You know the best part?
No,
the
you
best
can't.
part when
No, you
Chris
can't.
says what he says.
No,
No one's
it's
sitting
really
here like, I'm not commenting.
It's really quick. It's really quick.
Not
It's really quick.
commenting.
It's really quick. When we got in the venue, because I got in right before you guys got in the venue, right?
Okay.
I went to use the washroom. I saw Mini Mickey in the bathroom of Jameson.
Jameson.
I was like, Adam Mom's been here.
Good.
And then
Yeah.
Tono was upstairs, so probably him.
I didn't see Tona.
Tona
You
was
saw
upstairs,
Tona, but
yeah.
when I saw it, I was like, Adam wants me here.
Yeah. But everything has racial history. You're 100% right? But Jameson's history is just, for me, extremely more just fucked.
Oh, do we have time to explain the quick call notes of it?
Cold Notes is the founder of Jameson's Liquor to me is like a psychopathic kid that buys a cat just to kill it. He used to buy slaves just to mutilate and kill them.
Where is it? And his last name Jameson. So.
He's the one who created the liquor.
It doesn't mean what they
So
stand for
you're
right
probably
now.
drinking.
No, you're right, and it doesn't mean what it stands for. Right now.
Volkswagen was funded by the Nazis.
Until I find out why.
I was just watching that documentary today.
Until I find
Just
out more.
watching it today.
So until I find out more, I'm not changing my stance until I find out.
Before they go
Like
to
how I said
Jameson,
it, like I already
it was
knew.
probably
Like this is like you retained history class. You're like, yo, shit, man. Miss Whittlesworth taught me that.
Mr. Whittlesworth.
I don't know where Whittlesworth.
We all had a Whittlesworth in our
What got you started in producing? What made you?
Well, actually, we forget that. What was first? Producing and lyrics.
Rapping was first. Because I didn't have a computer, I didn't have any way to make beats back then. Like earlier on. But I was always making songs, rhyming since elementary school.
Right.
Just every kid has a love for music, but it's just, I think, because my dad was like a DJ in the Ghanaian community, he wasn't like a big DJ or nothing like that, but he used to DJ the parties like in Rexdale and Albion Road and shit like that.
So you grew up around
Where exactly?
Yeah.
music.
Like, we always used to do this club called Al Kuba, which was like off Highway 27.
Right.
It was like those
Albion
banquet hall. Basically,
and
basically
Albion.
banquet hall parties,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Albion, or even that little church place down by like Falstaff, like if you're going by Jane, but you go the other way from Falstaff. The area right there, them banquet halls, like those banquet hall parties, you used to DJ all of those ones. You always had a collection of music, so that's how I got, just immersed in the world of every type of music, R&B, funk, hip hop, jazz, just pop, everything. He had all types of music except for country. Yeah, a little bit of dance music. He had some dance music, not like crazy hardcore dance music, but like CNC music factory. That kind of like urban dance.
The urban,
with black
yeah.
people doing dance music,
Yeah. The top.
But I think it was me finding some like instrumental.
Hey!
It's that time again.
That time again. Let's drink before we.
Humble beginnings.
Yes. Wait, how come it's got to? How come I get a
it's a Chesa thing.
So,
Yeah.
at what point did you?
Like it was me finding certain CDs that said like instrumental. I'm like, yo, what's instrumental? Like, yo, let me take an instrumental, and it was just a beat. I was like, oh shit.
I didn't even have to finish the question.
That was eventually what I was leading into.
Got it.
Yeah, I knew that's what you were gonna lead into, but yeah, it was just me finding instrumental CDs, and the first one that I found that I really rhymed to was "More Money, More Problems." Victoria B.I.G. and Ace, Diddy, and I was like, oh shit, like I could really Mace was one of those guys I mirrored raps over, like.
That's me too.
I always, love rap. What's it called? Wu-Tang was my shit. Biggie was my shit. I liked a lot of New York shit and mainly Queensbridge shit.
Right.
But not necessarily Nas, more Mobb Deep, fucking Twins, Cormega.
Famous Mob.
Yeah, just the whole infamous Mob shit. Tragedy.
When you found like instrumental CDs, did you feel like you could get a better idea of what the soundscape sounds like without having the lyrics on it?
I guess not back then. I wasn't even thinking about creating beats. I didn't even know how beats were created. I figured everybody just played instruments, and then my cousin, I would always go to his house. His dad had a little studio in his basement, like he lived around Maze, like Jane Shepherd. And I would just go to his basement, he'd make beats, but it'd be those like, you know, those guy named beats like, dum, 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 you know, like, so those original Afro, yeah, those original Afro beats he was making, because he was an artist too. His name was Sky P, so he had put out music in Ghana and stuff like that. So, you know, there was those musical backgrounds in the history of my family.
Do you play instruments?
Do I play instruments? My mouth, my finger, it's the instrument of death.
Can you speak a little bit on your African? Can you speak a little bit on your African roots? Because I think that's interesting and it's not really brought up. Because in Toronto we speak about the Caribbean, we talk about Jamaica, Trinity.
It's true, they don't speak about the African influences in that scene.
You know, it's all the diaspora. I don't even hate on that, like, cause now
that went over somebody's head over here.
No, but you just, not everybody uses words like that.
Oh yeah. Let me put on my glasses.
No, like word of the day.
You know, when I say diaspora, it's like everything that's, you know, obviously from African descent, but influenced around, you know,
around the globe.
And
around
it's
the globe,
parts of Africa,
you know?
as well.
Yeah. Different parts of Africa to the Caribbean to South America to North America. You know what I mean? We're all part of the diaspora wherever Africans have touched. You know what I mean? Or we're descendants of Africa. Right. So, you know, there's this not really a resurgence, but like kind of this emergence of this new Afrobeat flavor.
Yeah.
That's been going on for the last maybe 5-6 years, which is
reminds
good.
me of like when reggaeton
First started,
Yeah. And that's the thing. All those, everything we hear is just derived.
The roots of that.
What we're hearing, like that's where you hear the first drum. That's where you hear the rhythm. You know.
Right.
Have you been to
Yeah. I've been back. I
Personal
haven't been back in a while.
personal, professional?
No, personal to go check family. I did perform there while I was down there back then. That was 2010, 2009.
Okay.
So it's been a while. Yeah, I have to go back. You know, it's vital. I have to go back soon. Check some family over there. Bring my daughter out there. You know,
Yeah, you have to connect.
introduce them to her extended family. Because you know it's different down there. It's a different life, a different way of living.
Out there, man.
Mans have to fetch for their water.
It's wild out there.
It's one of more. I'm from Ghana, West Africa, so it's one of the more peaceful places in Africa. You know, there's places in Africa going through turmoil.
Yeah.
Them niggas always warring with each other, like, you know what I mean? They're like, you're not like me, even though we look the same.
Exactly the same.
But it's even more political and crazy. You heard about fucking Cape Town, South Africa? Them niggas running out of water, fam.
Yo,
They April 12th is what they call day zero.
They might dry up.
They
might
are gonna
dry up.
they're shutting off taps.
And
They're about to start rationing.
we're letting it run while we go.
They're
into
about to
the kitchen.
ration water.
Yeah.
Like
but
that's.
but this is
Hold
on
on.
purpose.
Where's their water coming from in the first place?
Well,
Like
that's the
rivers.
thing. Remember, the Earth only has
Drinkable water.
2.5 fucking 2.5% of the world's water is drinkable fresh water.
Okay.
You dig what I'm saying?
And how much of that is here?
0.5 of it is here in Canada. You dig what I'm saying? Like probably Alaska and a place that.
I was asking a rhetorical
Yo, are you guys appreciating this education? You
know
guys
what I
get
mean?
it right now?
So imagine for them, they have to import shit. They gotta get shit. They're not getting enough shit. Their economy is failing.
And we're selling it to Nestle for fucking pennies on the
We're not even selling it to Nestle. Nestle's taking it.
They're taking it.
Nestle's
They
taking
probably
it.
bought that shit.
Nestle takes the
They're probably
water
bought-
and they
yeah.
charging us for what they take. They don't actually pay for it.
It's wild. But it's crazy.
Water's gonna be the next currency.
But already, the CEO in Nestle said
Watch
water,
me tell you.
And
he
air.
said water
the
should
next
not be a
currency is gonna
human
be water.
right. The CEO in Nestle said water should not be a human right.
Shouldn't. A lot of things shouldn't be.
Water shouldn't be a
A
human
lot
right.
of things. No. A lot of things.
80% of your
So it is a
body,
human
bro,
right.
is water. If you dehydrate, you die. The
So
only way
it's a
to
right.
hydrate is to drink water.
Speaking of dehydrate,
Like,
let me pour these
It's
shots.
now
Hold
getting
on.
to the place where now water has to be a privilege.
Yeah.
But it should be a right. Like,
It's-
you know,
it's needed.
You
It's
should
needed.
get free water anywhere you go. Like,
I'm gonna
imagine McDonald's charge you for water. You'd be
A
like,
cup
yo,
of water.
where the fuck are we, dog?
Can I tell you?
Where did we go in society?
I will
Where
move
McDonald's
back
is
to
now charging me
Cuba.
$1 for a cup of ice water, tap
Don't
water.
you say, you go to
What's
McDonald's, they'll give you a bottle of water. They won't even give you a cup of water anymore.
No, don't
They
give me
do?
a cup of water, nigga. I want my cup. But they'll try to give you the small cup.
Yeah, yeah,
Where they'll
yeah,
give
yeah,
you the
fine one, yeah.
You want me
small,
to
like,
stand
ice
here
cream
and keep
cup.
asking?
Ice cream
Yeah,
cup.
yeah, yeah.
Be like, nah, man.
Dixie.
Give me the Dixie. At least give me the Dixie. Because they don't want, it's like, it costs them money to make the cups, right?
They think they
still
think when
want
you
charge
take,
your ass.
they think when you take the big cup, you're gonna go over and just.
It's
fill
good
up
because
with
they have the
soda.
self-serve. They have the self-serve, right?
Most likely I will.
Definitely.
Which
I'm
is
gonna
a,
make
which is a fraction of
I'm
the
gonna
price
make my
of water.
Sprutopia.
It is. Soda's cheaper than water.
So you
What's cheaper than water?
Soda. Pop is cheaper than water. I could buy a
But
bottle
that's
of
how
pop.
everything.
I could buy
has
a
to be
bottle
made.
of pop.
Cheaper than water.
Cheaper than water. I could get 2 bottles of pop for the same price of one bottle of
Because it's
water.
not good for you. So why not sell it to you for pennies?
And that water is tap
You
water.
keep drinking all you want.
Yeah.
And the sugar, so you're gonna buy it in abundance.
Yeah.
Because sugar is addictive,
Nice
It is.
as you know.
You take one,
Can
you
you
buy
put
one bottle of
quality
water,
sugar?
you're hydrated. You're not going back.
I wanna-
I need more water. You're good for now. No,
For those of
it's not money.
okay, all of us are artists here. I'm pretty sure we've all dabbled in beats.
Yo, I tell you the truth, I tried beats one time, and that shit got so complicated. I was like, fuck this shit.
No, it does get that, but that's where I'm getting with.
That's how I felt with relationship.
Actually, I worked with
No.
I worked with
I know where you're going. I've been married before.
Truthfully.
But
Oh, I have that.
It's either you're in a relationship.
Do I have to do your job for you, man? Come on. No, I'm playing.
first sample that you've ever just said, "Oh, I gotta mess with that." Do you remember it?
Nah, but I do remember early samples, and a lot of them came from like you remember those commercials you used to see on TV? They're like sounds of the '70s.
Yeah.
Sounds of the '60s, you know.
It's like the
and it would
original
be
DJ
like
pack.
it'd be like Peebo Bryson comes out, he's just like, remember those tunes? Play by the fireplace and
And they were mad smooth.
and
with
cuddle
it.
up with you. Well, we have these all in a 6 CD disc set that you can buy right now. And then I would hear
Yeah, like
O'Shea was
$9.99.
you know what I mean?
There
And
were
then-
rivers and
Yeah.
waterfalls in the back.
But they had that for like every era. So
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
you know, depending on what channel you're watching, if you're watching like
Yo, you're
like a
watching that
TV
after Cheetah.
If you're,
You're watching that after Cheetah.
yeah, like so if you're watching on Fox, you'll get like a like a soul of the '70s. You know, you're watching like TBS, the Superstation back in the day.
Yeah, yeah,
They got
You're
money.
getting like like the top 10 rock hits like Buddy Holly.
yeah.
Like Buddy Holly. And the
40s,
Beatles, you know, shit from the,
But
like
if,
the
they're-
60s.
but if they got money, they got Lou Rawls in the commercials.
Yay!
Lou Rawls would be in the commercials, right? It's like with a turtleneck.
It's the original sample.
Yeah,
Slinging
Lou
and shit.
Rawls. All I remember is Peebo Bryson. That's all I remember. Like he's the
People Bryson.
To be what race?
the Peebo Bryson, the original Bryson.
Okay, what was the first beat you made?
Did you play an instrument?
First beat you made or first
Oh,
placement?
I'm sorry.
First
So
beat.
samples
beat,
that
right.
I first used were like was Shy Lights, Loving You Is Wrong, Marvin Gaye, the same sample that Kanye used for Spaceships.
Okay.
I used that before I heard Spaceships, and then like there was this little thing going on in my hood where like when I started finding samples and I started doing them, making beats, Kanye would have like the same
Sample.
beat
Sample.
with the same
Oh.
would have the same sample on his beats. Anybody, you know, obviously Kanye, niggas in the hood like, yo, rich kid, yo, Kanye, shit, man,
Yes,
No, but that's-
it's like we're not thinking like everybody has access.
Well, my
Probably even more than
One of my
that. Probably
brothers-
has a real vinyl.
No,
I have
one of
MP3 from Napster.
You know, but one of my friends is like, yo, listen, once you put it out there, the universe takes it and we
Yeah,
do what
but
they
you
want.
know what? It was
The thing
weird.
is-
Like I never really put it out there. Like
You made it. It's already out.
Like I had put certain ones on like on MySpace and stuff like that, or like even just send them out. But I wasn't on like that yet. Like
No, but I'm saying, like,
it was
but the
before I was
beauty
even
about the
on.
internet is
It was more like beats I would just play to the hood, so they don't know where I sent it or who I gave it to.
No, what I'm
I didn't
saying
really
is-
give it to nobody anyway.
But what I'm saying is, the minute you conceive the idea and you created it, the universe like, I want to see what he's gonna do with it, and then the energy's out there. Someone's like, you know what I should use? And then only Kanye picks it up, because who else did you hear with that same sample around the same time?
Shit, there could have been a million different people, but that that's internet age, but pre-internet kind of.
Like Napster age.
You know, like
Yeah.
yeah,
World was a little bit bigger.
that was like Napster, Kazaa,
man.
you know, like LimeWire things.
When you
LimeWire.
discovered that, you were like,
LimeWire
Sure,
was kind
sure,
of
niggas
dangerous.
knew about
though.
Eris.
Napster was
Eris was
wicked.
one.
You can find everything. That's
Everything.
where I find the Lord of Mercy album.
Yep.
Napster was wicked.
I used to hate when I used to get that fucking one where like you're trying to download a song you want, and then you get fucking George Bush's like, or Bill Clinton. He's like, my fellow Americans, if you download this MP3, I'm like, fuck.
Remember that?
Been caught again.
They caught again.
Let me ask this.
Foiled again.
Let me ask this then. What was the track that you produced or the song you did where you knew you had the city's attention?
I don't know.
There's got to be a moment where you're like, oh, I'm getting the responses now.
It would have probably been my first one. This joint I did with Frank and Dank, because they mentioned my name. Like I didn't really have too many tracks where then you mentioned my name. Like Drake mentioned my name on one track. A couple different people mentioned my name. Fucking Redman mentioned my name and shit.
You
Certain niggas mentioned my name and shit, but like I feel like that was the first one to kind of jumpstart it, because then people in the city are like, oh, who's Rich Kid? Who's Rich Kid? You know, he makes those soul beats. Because the one I made for them didn't even have a sample. It was like all totally original, but it just had that like that little jazzy, like cool vibe. And apparently Frank and Dyke told me Dilla heard it. Like this is before Dilla died. And Dilla heard it. And he's just like, yo, the boy is nice. So I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but at that time, I'm just finding out about Jay Dilla.